Today, Exodus revealed 2 new pieces of artwork and a very interesting concept called demons. And this sounds like this could be a possible path for our protagonist June. So let's break down what was revealed about demons and silicates, the synthetic being that bonds with humans to create these demons. And something that's interesting is that the title of this article is titled Release Your Inner Demon, and all Exodus marketing specifically speaks to the player as the traveler. And with this article addressing us again directly, this is why I think it could be something we could experience as the player. It says, no one knows exactly where silicates came from. Were they created by some ancient offshoot of our human ancestors? Perhaps the bioengineers of a long-forgotten dominion crafted them to reject the touch of their rivals, which is why they never bond with celestials. Or maybe they are truly alien in origin, strange crystalline life forms that recognize in humanity a host humble enough to form a powerful symbiotic relationship, as opposed to one that would try to dominate and control them. The truth is much debated, but the only thing we know for sure is that they are one of the greatest weapons in our battle for salvation. The reveal also says that wherever they came from, the Celestials fear the demons. And since silicates only bond with humans, there are some who see them in a religious light. They believe human-silicate coexistence was preordained. It was meant to be, and brought to fruition by some higher power. And this reveal also included this image of a feminine-looking figure breaking apart this technology. She looks like she's in the middle of a battle that is taking place in between high-rise buildings in some kind of cityscape. But what is most interesting is that her body looks very changed. And the announcement today did explain why this is. For humanity, silicates offer leverage of the best kind. Once bonded, they are us and we are them. This is not about creating a new technology the Celestials can assimilate or carrying a new weapon they can overcome, because we ourselves become the weapon. Through the silicates, humans are changed, converted from the inside into something much different, something more. It starts with a rare silicate egg, which in the hands of a Celestial is merely a crystal gem of no great value. Only the interaction with humans awakens the symbiotic bond that merges flesh with crystal to create a completely new being. For the vast majority, this experience is fatally traumatic. Those humans whose bodies reject the silicate face a gruesome, though mercifully quick end. But those who survive the process bond with the silicate completely and permanently. Their skin hardens and becomes translucent and is virtually impervious. Their musculature and physiology metamorphosizes and is optimized for the power they now wield. Their bodies become capable of unleashing superhuman feats of agility, endurance, speed, and strength. Of course, there is a cost for this union. A shadow fills the mind where memories once had free reign. This shadow presence permeates their brain, introducing intrusive thoughts and urges in a manner inextricably integrated with our basic human instincts. We are renewed, reborn, but with a darker, more violent mindset. Not a perfect solution, admittedly, and one about which much is still unknown. The true extent of the silicate's influence and control on the host's thoughts and behavior is unclear. But in our fight to carve out a place for humanity among the Celestials, the silicates are too powerful a weapon to ignore as we fight for a home in this new universe. First, I just want to say that I'm absolutely obsessed and in love with this concept. I love that there is a physical transformation that happens to reflect the new superhuman capabilities. And my biggest question is, can we, as June the protagonist, become one with the silicate and become a demon? In the previous dev Q&A, when the devs were asked if we'll be able to play as a non-human playable character, their answer was yes and no. So maybe this could be what they were referring to. And if this isn't related to June, then I wonder if this is related to a new companion. There are still several companions up on the Exodus website that haven't been revealed yet. This would be a good bit of information to put out if one of those ended up being one of these demons. So maybe this is the setup for a future reveal. From this, we know that silicates are not able to, nor do they want to bond with celestials, which June, our protagonist, is half. but their other half is human. So maybe the silicate would still be inclined to bond. I don't know. I do love the idea of this changing our character's appearance because this image is really cool. I also wonder if this leans into a morality system, like almost a dark urge situation similar to Baldur's Gate 3, because once you've joined with a silicate, a shadow fills your mind. Your memories are replaced by intrusive thoughts and urges, and we are reborn with a darker, more violent mindset. And once you have bonded, you become that demon. So this image is of a demon that we're seeing here. Obviously, this is just concept art, so what they'll actually look like in game is unknown. But hopefully they can do a good job of translating the translucent skin into the game. This character that we're looking at does have a dark, chaotic kind of presence based off of this image. And there is also another new image up on the Exodus website. And this one paints kind of the opposite picture. This demon seems to be more composed, maybe thoughtful. This one also looks like it is disintegrating in its fingers. I wonder if their bodily changes have an expiration date or an accelerated lifespan where they die quicker. Which I guess wouldn't make sense because the new body is supposed to be basically indestructible, but maybe exerting all that new power can only be sustained for so long. Maybe this is totally unrelated and it's just a concept to explore the loss of humanity or that loss of whatever part the silicate takes over. Whatever this concept art is reflecting is interesting though, and I really want to know more. I also really love the delicate looking skin and glass-like features. And both of these pictures remind me of the very first Exodus image that was revealed back in December. In the middle, this is for sure June, but I'm not sure about the other two. This one on the left definitely looks like it has that glass, translucent skin that demons are supposed to have. And while I love their appearance, to me it isn't the most interesting part about them. But that once where memories existed in their mind, now is the place for the silicate. And with this comes violent thoughts and dark urges. Some theorize the silicates are speaking to their host through these dark musings, influencing and changing their behavior to suit their own dark purpose. Others feel the silicates merely allow demons to tap into the primal shadow that exists within all humanity, buried beneath a veneer of civilization and manners. And to me, it sounds like this could eventually turn into a darker story, where maybe the host loses control and maybe the silicate takes over. It sounds like a lot is unknown about how the process actually works and the long-term effects. Sounds like there's a lot of story possibilities here. So if this is applicable to our protagonist, I would absolutely love that. I think this concept is really interesting, and as someone who usually plays Renegade and loves playing the Dark Urge in Baldur's Gate 3, I would love to be able to play another darker, morally complex leading character just because it's an interesting concept and usually the road less traveled. And I wonder if we've already seen something related to the demons in the first trailer. We did see June use some kind of crystal-like particle in a very cool-looking attack. I wonder if this is maybe an indicator of these demon abilities. At first I thought this would lean more towards the celestial ability, and June having access to neural induction, whatever that is. But with this being a combat ability, and we see the crystal effect, maybe it is related to demons. Or maybe it isn't, since June doesn't have any changed features with their skin. And at this point, Exodus has revealed demons, changelings, awakens, celestials, robots, AI, and teased at even more than this. I truly hope they are able to deliver on these promises because they're painting a massive, complex, diverse world. And I hope to see all of these things. And there was also one more piece of interesting information that was revealed. It says, in Centauri we encountered harsh, uninhabitable landscapes and regions controlled by creatures that had no intention of sharing their living space with humans. Many of these aliens were recognizable as distant relatives of terrestrial animals that had evolved and adapted to their new surroundings. Others were beings genetically engineered to thrive in the most extreme conditions, monsters resembling the things that crawl through the dark corners of our worst cryosleep nightmares. This gives a little bit more insight into the different types of aliens and species we're going to encounter. We know to expect changelings and awakened animals, but the devs also spoke of awakened animals that had evolved and changed. So it sounds like we're going to be meeting a huge variety of different things throughout the galaxy. And one thing I also want to say is that they are revealing what feels like a lot before the game, which is probably still a ways away from actually launching. Release schedule-wise, I don't know when to expect Exodus, but maybe 2025 is where I'm leaning. And I didn't see Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro, or Archetype Entertainment on the early list for Summer Games Fest. It doesn't mean they aren't there for sure, but I don't really expect them to be, so don't get your hopes up. I will say though that when you go to the Wizards website, the first thing that you see is Exodus, which is promising. Maybe it means the game isn't that far out, and while I don't think they'll be at Summer Games Fest or have any reveals this summer, I fully expect them at the Game Awards later this year. But if they're not releasing the game until maybe at least a year from now, I hope they don't reveal too much more lore or information about the game, so that we can get even more surprises. I'm devouring everything they're revealing, and it is making me way more excited, but I just don't know how much more they can continue to reveal for another year before the game launches. I'm sure they have a plan and know what they're doing. I just hope the game itself has plenty of surprises. And with that, those are the end of the 2 reveals from today. There isn't a lot, but it's extremely interesting. Let me know if you would like to play as a demon, and what you think of the concept art that we're being shown here. Also, maybe they've revealed this information because it's relevant to the book that's coming out in September. We may not have an official release date for the actual game. We do know that the Archimedes engine is coming out in September, and this book is over 900 pages. It's going to be a massive lore dump, and while it doesn't take place during the actual game from what we know, it does seem like it's going to be building up the world quite a lot. So I guess that will be our first introduction to Exodus. And maybe we'll see demons in there. Also, hopefully this music doesn't get copyrighted. It's the music from the last dev Q&A, and while I'm not entirely sure if it's actually Exodus music or just a stand-in, I do really like it. So hopefully I can stop using Mass Effect music for Exodus. And if you haven't joined already, there is an Exodus Discord which I'll link below. Come and chat about the game and any new reveals with us. Thank you for watching, and an extra special thank you to my channel members. Your support helps the channel grow. Thank you so much, and see you next time.